Welcome to the Scottish Exhibition Centre in Glasgow. Chris Eubank's in the spotlight on tonight's Big Fight Live. He defends his world title against Ireland's European champion, Ray Close. Hello, good evening. We're about to unveil another chapter in the complex and controversial boxing career of Christopher Livingston Eubank. Eubank's had 35 fights and he's won the lot. That's the best winning streak in British boxing to date. This will be his 7th defence of the WBO super middleweight title, and that is a post-war record. But despite all that, the arguments still rage about Eubank's real boxing ability. His entrance is unique, occasionally more entertaining than the fight, but he disputes any suggestion that millions want to see him lose.
I believe people can see me win. I believe people like to see the show. It's not the boxing enthusiast who comes to watch the boxing. It's the people who want to be entertained. How I fight. Sometimes they say good fight, and sometimes they just see a good entrance and a lot of strutting, maybe. But I don't believe people really wanted to see me lose out there as much as they did at one time.
Once again here in Glasgow, Eubank's trained in public. He's raised thousands for children's charities. They've warmed to him, and he's scorched the hands of his trainer.
Got a worse one than usual this time. He bent my finger right back, this one here. It dislocated, it come right out of the joint, really painful. All he said to me was, Chris, he just said, when he finished the round out, when I finished it out, we took the pad off and he said, you better go to the hospital. I went to the hospital and they froze it and put it back in. So I was back on the pads the following day, but very painful. We won't let him rest.
Ray Close has worked furiously in his Belfast gym as he tries to catapult himself into the big time. He's earned this chance the hard way, stopping the Italian Vincenzo Nardiello in Italy to claim the vacant European 12-stone title. A superb away win this on St Patrick's Day. Close isn't overawed by Chris Eubank.
I tend to be a very controlled boxer, and I think about what I'm going to do. You'll see a lot of fast hands and good feet work. I don't believe in taking too much punishment, so I don't know if I'll chase Eubank or whatever, but you know, I can go forward, go back. It doesn't really matter to me. So I just go in there and I'll be out to win.
Close is a Mormon, an active member in the Church of the Latter-day Saints. You'll find him in the gym on every day of the week except Sundays. That 7th day, he says, belongs to the Lord. It's 385 days and 4 long fights since Chris Eubank demolished American John Jarvis in Manchester. Surely a repeat spectacular is long overdue.
Let me tell you something. I mean, knocking people out it's not a good thing. It's not a certainty that they're going to get up and walk away. So if I can win fights by just going the distance all the time, then, you know, it leaves out that detrimental risk of them not getting back up. So I'm glad, you know. Knocking people out, if it happens, good. If it doesn't, good.
He's had to go the whole 12 rounds with guys, you know, that he shouldn't really have them to take that distance. He should have been, you know, taking them out a bit before that time and doing a better job. So I don't think I think he's a good fighter, but I don't think he's a great fighter, and I think he's very beatable.
Do I deserve an early night? Yes, my last 4 or 5 fights have been 12-round fights. Can I knock this opponent out? I believe I can. Will I? I believe I will. We'll see what happens. But let's not make a whole, you know, big hoo-ha about knocking people out. The objective of the game is to win.
And so far in nearly 8 years at the pro.
We will return to Jim Rosenthal as soon as we possibly can. Well, we're sorry we're having a bit of trouble returning to Glasgow, but we will reach out live.
Ronnie Davis with him, the only fellow who he listens to during a fight, long-term trainer. Well, I've just been told you might not have been with us throughout those preliminaries. You've missed no action at all, though. Both Chris Eubank and Ray Close are in the ring. And after the MC, Alan Hughes, it'll be Jim Watt and Reg Guttridge. First of all, over to Alan.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the big fight live on ITV? Promoted by Barry Hearn on behalf of Matchroom Boxing and Tommy Gilmore on behalf of the St Andrews Sporting Club, your matchmaker Frank Turner, and sponsored by the Daily Mirror. This is a super middleweight contest at 12 stone over 12 rounds each of 3 minutes duration for the WBO Super Middleweight Championship of the world. Your judges for the contest are Roy Francis of Kent, Dave Paris of London, Torben Hansen of Denmark, your timekeeper Jim Russell of Scotland, and your WBO supervisor in charge, Jerry Bullard of Great Britain. And ladies and gentlemen, when the bell rings and the action begins, your referee for the contest, Paul Thomas of Derby. Presenting and introducing to you in the red corner, wear the green shorts with an impressive 19 wins from 21 contests, 10 inside the distance from Belfast. A warm welcome please for the current super middleweight champion of Europe, challenger for the title, Ray Close. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent in the blue corner with the yellow shorts with a faultless career record of 35 wins from 35 contests, 18 by KO from Brighton, the former WBO middleweight champion of the world and the reigning WBO super middleweight champion of the world, Chris Eubank! Ladies and gentlemen, at the weigh-in today, both boxers scale 12 stone exactly. I thank you.
Well, you always have this great, incredible feeling of anticipation when Eubank's in the ring, isn't there? There's a bit of artful butchery in his boxing as well. And when he does the leap over that ropes, the crowd love it. That's the landing of the ego. So there you are. Once again, now it's the first Briton actually, very close to challenge this fella in the Eubank for since Michael Watson. And there's a great deal now on this fight. There's $1 million deal going now for Eubank to fight Ben, the winner to fight Michael Nunn, the survivor to fight James Toney, and unify all these championships. But Ray Close, well, I tell you, he seemed extremely confident. Eubank was admitting to me that he's motivated by the fear of losing his first fight now. And having the weigh-in at 6 o'clock last night, well, both of them have put on an amazing amount of weight, which they get down them on the following day. They're no longer the 12 stone division, 76 kilos. That's a safety measure to stop the dehydration. The doctors prefer that. Justifies a crack at this championship, Ray Close, definitely, because he is the European champion, although Henry Wharton is the number one in the WBO challenger. So he's leapfrogged over him to get this chance. It was a good performance winning in Italy against Nardiello. And he was ahead on 2 of the cards before the injury stoppage in the 10th round. So there's lots of chance for Eubank, as he's saying his popularity thinks has increased, and certainly the Scots like him. Can you imagine, Jim, there's happened to be an upset here with Ray Close now, that things that are going for Eubank. You can see the tabloid headline, Storming Norman.
Well, Eubank doesn't make too many mistakes. A couple of times earlier in his career I thought he was fortunate with a couple of points verdicts, but since then he's done everything right. But you always have to give someone, a good boxer who sets a pace and who keeps his own chin down, you always have to give him a chance against Eubank, because Eubank doesn't really like working at a pace. He likes lifting it, dropping it down again, just controlling things. So if Close doesn't allow him to control the pace, it gives him that bit better a chance. But they certainly odds heavily against Close.
Been the full distance in his last 4 fights, Eubank. That proves that the Irishman doesn't care about the reputation now of the champion. He'll steam in. Whether he's a good enough puncher or not, I don't know. He's stopped 10 of 19 wins. Normally it's the accumulation of his punches that have won his championship. but he scored actually only 7 knockdowns in his 19 weeks. Oh, well, we get the old strut, as he says, back to the corner. He suddenly goes, wouldn't he? But I have to point out that he did this before he was on television. At the Royal Albert Hall, and we all thought he might be a little bit crazy, but he actually lived to back up his boast, and the crowd love it here, don't they? A little bit of the wrestling touch to this, really. But he's been walking around shaking hands with everybody today and very pleased with himself and very sociable. I think there's a chance, Jim, that he's still dragging to do that 12 stone. He's a big frame fella. He's been sucking ice cubes for days every time he's been seen around the hotel.
Yeah, well, obviously that signs of dehydration as long as he wasn't swallowing it. But I mean, that was a lazy first round for Eubank. I mean, you could give that round too close because he certainly landed more punches. He kept himself a little bit busier. But Eubank, you can see that the tremendous reflexes he had, always ready to spring, and the tremendous physical strength he has. But a lazy first round.
Second round, then. He does have the hunter's patience, Jim, doesn't he? He's come off the floor and won fights. But he's a good, disciplined, workman-like fighter, Ray Close. This happens to be the first time you've seen him. Very good amateur record, boxed against Cuba and got lost a split decision in Havana. It's a little bit too early in the fight, really, for Eubank to start stalling a bit, Jim. I mean, you can't be worried about his stamina, surely.
No, I've always wondered that we've never actually seen Chris Eubank maintain a pace, a real pace in any of his fights. It's not the way he does the job. But you can't fault what he does. He's unbeaten in so many World Championship contests. But he likes to control everything. And that's what Close must not allow to happen. He must dictate the pace, make Eubank work a pace that he doesn't really enjoy.
He likes playing this role of the intimidator, Eubank. He's certainly different anyway. Well, I tell you that the wind of the punch might have hurt Close more than that there. It was miles away.
Leck gets that big silly right hand out the way. He usually throws one of those in the fight. Hopefully that'll be the last.
Yeah, I hope he's got rid of that. That was a no ball, wasn't it?
So I think Close is still paying this man a lot of respect as he's due. You know, he's not really stepping right in with the punches. Early days, just boxing himself in. When Eubank decides to punch, he moves right in with the shots. He moves right in, gets to the shoulder behind it.
The Irish camper's saying, well, listen, if he's in there for a few rounds very close, the second half of the fight, we think we can win it.
Lovely punch. Well, I think it caught him slightly off balance, Reg, but that certainly knocked his head back. It didn't seriously trouble him, but it looked a good shot. It knocked his head back.
What he's doing is playing the chess game with Eubank. He loves that. I said it at the start, there's a bit of an artful butchery about his boxing. It's so different from anybody else. Countdown then to the end of the second. So the third round then scheduled, of course, for 12. The WBO version of the Super Middleweight Championship. I thought he was coming over for an early interview there, didn't you, Frank? As I said, he's a well-schooled, disciplined pro, Ray Close. We'll see whether he takes a whack or not. He has been stopped by Frank Nicotero in the European Championship, but he was in a big lead at the time by the 8th round. And the Cotero is world ranked, highly world ranked. Eubank had respect for this fellow as a person. He was making that point quite clearly today. Thought he was a very nice man, but the moment that bell goes, then it's down to business. Otherwise, he has no business in there.
That was the first serious shot from Eubank, right uppercut, caught Close bang in the chin. But Close has got his own right hand home a couple of times, so his confidence probably building. But you always get the feeling Eubank can do much better than he's done.
He can't afford to hang his chin out and take too many chances here, actually, Eubank. There's too much in stock for him now. I mean, I thought of the Ben fight with a big money winner, and then Michael Nunn, and maybe James Toney, the American champions.
That's a danger punch, but just the third time Eubank's tried that right uppercut, and Close is keeping his chin down nice and tight, so the hooks won't land, but that right uppercut looked dangerous a couple of times.
Difficult punch to block that, Jim, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Eubank realises he's the stronger, he's the bigger one-punch hitter, so he seems quite happy to let Close get a few punches off up close, and then he lets that right hand uppercut go.
Like you, Jim, I thought Close won the first round. He did more work, and there was nothing in it in the second. But we've got former referee Harry Gibbs with us tonight. We'll later come on with his version of the unofficial scoring. Oh dear, pat on the back, that is. Don't need that. Referee from Derby, Paul Thomas, his 4th WBO championship.
Close is trying to make Eubank work. He's trying to set the pace. He's not moving away, and this is the right way to beat Eubank, I feel. You have to outwork him, make him work at a pace.
What's that all about? It's Eubank is saying to him is Bernardo Checo, trainer there, who worked with Paul Hodgkinson and Despana from Panama. They worked out of on Eastwood's Belfast, Canada, of course. So they're find out what Harry. There we are. There it is. This is unofficial, and he's made it even by the end of the third. The actual judges are Dave Paris of London, Moira Francis of Kent, Torben Hansen of Denmark, and the referee Paul Thomas, of course, doesn't vote. Should it go 12?
Okay. Got 1, 2. Wanna move?
The old way to his style, isn't he? Jim, have a look at that now in the replay.
So Eubank, you feel he hasn't really get down to work yet, but Close doing the right things, because that's that dangerous right uppercut. Close, good defence, keeps his chin down nice and low, so that's the only punch that he has to fear, that right uppercut.
Round 4.
Coming out for round 4 then. The 12-stone division.
I just feel that Close is lack of strength. He's actually lack of power might be a problem when this fight reaches the later stages. If it does, it doesn't seem to have the same strength that Eubank has.
No, he's a fine-built super middleweight actually, very close to him, but no, you're right, he doesn't carry the single punch power anyway, or would appear to.
Even the body strength up close there, Eubank seems stronger.
Doors in great condition. Eubank is trainer Ronnie Davis has found he's worked very hard for this fight. He's got a New York conditioner that he's had around since his very early days when he began in Atlantic City in America, and just 4 rounders that he won there. He takes care of his body there, doesn't he? And this is a hard game. Whatever they get in the ring, they deserve it, because what they have to do outside to get in condition before they take the punches is hard enough.
Eubank seems to be trying to draw Close onto something, but it's not working. Close is getting the jabs home, getting the long range shots in. Eubank just missing out with his punches here, again a little bit lazy.
missing with a fair share of punches. Got another one.
Maybe he's not used to the younger opponent, Reg, at this pace. I mean, a few of Eubank's opponents have been over 30.
Yeah, he's 2 years younger than Eubank, 24.
I don't remember the last time Eubank boxed someone in their 20s, actually. But young, keen, enthusiastic, and he wants to work at a pace. Dropping a nice little right hand on.
Imagine now, great many viewers saying about Ray Close, hey, who is this fellow? We don't know too much about him, and he doesn't look bad at all at the moment.
His tactics are good. He's back in Eubank, up, taking the sting out of some of the shots.
And air of confidence there in the Irishman's corner now. There's certainly no fear in his face. I would have thought Dimish at this point was just nicking it a bit, isn't he? He might be around in front.
Yeah, well, I gave Close the last round then. See, every now and again, Eubank has come up with one of those dreadful performances. He's in it against Ron S over in Portugal and Dan Sherry. And if he picks one of those nights against a young fellow like Close who's full of the business, then things go drastically wrong. He's not doing enough work. The work he does is not up to the usual standard. So he's going to have to move up a gear and start producing something. See all this silly stuff, not scoring any points, Reg. Although sometimes WBO officials score things I don't seem to score.
Yeah, exactly. He's standing there like he's on a Greek pedestal at times, isn't he? Eubank, it's no good. You mentioned about age, and you're right, only one of Eubank's last 6 opponents, I remember, has been under 30. That was Ron Essex with 29. So now, can youth take over in this game? It usually proves to be a good thing in the pro ring. In fact, sometimes in life.
Well, Close just really wants to keep on doing as he's doing, keep that chin down nice and low and outwork this fella. But see, that's that danger sign, and again, that right hand.
And he's showing it too now. He's showing him the right hand uppercut. That just might make Close a bit hesitant.
These silly things that Eubank does, turning his shoulder away. You know he can't bring power and punches from that position. It lets his opponent take a little chance. He certainly does a few the flash things, but they're silly.
There's a lot of support in the hall. There's an Irish contingent in for Close. Minute to go in the 5th. I love the nickname too that the Irishman came in on his green, entering in the ring. Nothing comes close. Scotland's dressing gown. I'll tell you, these days colours and coordination and suit designs are very important to the fighters.
Doing it with that right hand, especially the right hand lead. He's caught Eubank napping a few times. Not a lot of power in it, but scoring points. And Eubank still doing the back and off routine.
They're not being much power, Jim, but they're point scoring. And remember, they're British judges, and they would point anything that's on the target area, not within the inside of the glove, they'll score. Oh, and he did attack with the right hand. The crowd got very excited there and didn't hear the bell. You may well have done at home, but certainly we couldn't hear it in the arena. So, do you mind walking back to the office, sir, where I could do with a few words with you? While the sponsors lady from Blackpool skirts the ring there, and Daily Mirror and Sunday Mirror sponsorship keeps this championship going now for Barry Hearn and Tommy Gilmore in Scotland. Now, another look at that, Jim.
Yeah, well, Eubank doing a lot of heavy breathing, Reg, and the pace he set doesn't really warrant heavy breathing. That's that dangerous little right hand, but apart from that, he hasn't really produced much. And as usual, he's not sustaining an attack. 2 or 3 punches, then he backs off again. He never sustains an attack. Close, he sets it and he keeps it going.
6th round. All the talking Jim Rosenthal there that Eubank was having about don't worry about knockouts. He may be desperate to get one if the fight's going like this. I said earlier, the Irish camp said if our man can stand there without getting tagged in the opening rounds, we think we certainly can win the second half of the fight. They really think that Eubank struggles to make the 12-stone weight and that the stamina problem set in.
I've often wondered about how Eubank prepares for fights. I mean, looking at his body, he looks a tremendous athlete, tremendously fit. There are different kinds of fitness, and if you're not doing enough road work and not doing enough sparring, then you don't have the right kind of fitness. You're a tremendous physique as Eubank has, but he never seems to manage to sustain any kind of pace. So I just wonder, even now, you know, the big deep breaths, and I mean, this has been a fairly level pace fight. There's a lot of confidence in his boxing now. 3-4 jabs all going home.
A little bit more action now from Eubank. I think he realises that things could get worse. Any ideas that people may think that Eubank just been carrying this fella, they can forget that, Jim. That's not his style at all. It happens to be the way he fights, and it's a bit risky.
Yeah, he's been trying to force Close into making some mistakes. You know, the posing and the feinting, he keeps trying to draw Close, but Close very controlled. Good concentration, keeping that chin down, keeping his defences about himself, and he's boxing well, and he's becoming more confident. So less likelihood of making those mistakes. Eubank wants to busy up here.
Now has to produce the old equaliser now.
Nice right hand again. That's a poor attack, Rich, for a world champion. That's a very poor attack. Tripped over himself there.
Yeah, floundering, wasn't he?
Yep, gets caught with a lot of punches. Another good round for Close, Reg. Eubank coming back with more shots, but Close is blocking most of them.
Have to be careful using the expression, this fight is close.
See, Close is clever here. He's getting his chin down at all times, thinking about where his chin is. Good, smart boxing from Close.
So he's had his little stroll there, Eubank, and I think now he's going to start worrying coming up for the 7th round. And they're very excited now, and certainly Barney Eastwood is. Well, he always does with these fighters anyway, gets himself a bit excited and bangs on the canvas all the time to encourage them. And there's Harry Gibbs' scorecard. He's got Close in front by 1 round. Very unofficial, as it says there, and you know, one of the world's leading ex-referees, and he actually was one of the judges for the Lennox Lewis and Tony Tucker fight. An official judge, man.
Seconds up. Round 7.
7th round then. And I'm just wondering now how the 2 British judges and the Danish judge would have it. Do you agree with that scorecard, gentlemen?
Well, I never disagree with Harry Gibbs, but he's just slightly kind of the Eubank, and I'm those 2 rounds in front. But as I say, don't like to argue with the man. But I just feel like Close all the way through, good controlled in his own boxing, not making the mistakes that Eubank is trying to draw from him. And that was certainly a good round for him, and he's growing in confidence, looking more kind of convicted in his punches now, fancies a job.
looked in good condition, very close. I'm not surprised, of course, but I mean, that little extra sheen to his skin that denotes fitness, I think. And determination, too. Lives a good, clean life, of course. Family man and religious.
What I like about Close's work too, he lands some good shots, then when Eubank goes for him, he's not too proud to back off out on his bicycle for a few seconds. And he knows Eubank doesn't really sustain the attack, so he gets on his bicycle and then back down to work again. A good smart campaign. Just has to watch it, he doesn't run out to one of those big right hands. A bit more aggression in Eubank's kind of movements now.
Clapping there in Eubank's corner, Freddie King and Ronnie Davis from Brighton, from Western area champions. He must be a bit concerned. You really have to nag this fella to get him going. See, there's always a problem, Jim, that if Eubank thinks he's winning this fight, and well, I imagine that the corner are giving him a friendly verbal GBH to the ears. A minute to go in the 7th.
Eubank's corner are calling him on, and I think that's a good idea. He really wants to be there's that big silly right hand again, and he gets caught with the counters when it misses. See, he's been getting away with that in the past, missing with these punches, and the opposition has been able to come back, but Close is coming back with good shots. Good boxer. I'd say this is the best Eubank has looked just this little spell, as though he's trying to take it down to business for a change.
Well, it looks like the old ego has landed in quite a bit of bother here, Eubank. I think with that bravado just camouflages that little bit of fear that he has, as I said, of losing his first one. Coming up to the end of the 7th. Round 8. I should have thought there were some terse orders there in Eubank's corner. It looked as though Ronnie Davis was laying into him a little bit. Next time in the pit bull, Davis.
I think this is going to be the acid test now for Close. I mean, Eubank has allowed him to do pretty much as he pleases for the first half of the fight. A few signs now that he wants to take charge, so we'll see what Close has if we can stop him from doing that. But Eubank now looks as though he wants to take charge of the action, so this is going to be the real tough part for Close, I would imagine. That's the difference here, Reg. When Eubank makes one of these many mistakes, he's being punished for it for a change.
As I said earlier on, he's a well-disciplined fighter, the Irishman.
Eubank's trying to put a dent in his confidence now. He's put some power into these shots, but he's still not working as hard as he's got to. Still not a pressure fighter.
Well, in this fight, Jim, I mean, you could say that nothing recedes like success as far as Eubank is concerned.
A couple of nice jabs again from Close. Close is doing the right thing, just keeping at Eubank. Don't let him control things. His tactics really have been excellent all the way through. Not sure if I saw a little nick in Eubank's left eye. There was just a little bit of sweat, but I thought I saw a little bit of damage on the left eye. Once he comes round, that may be just a little shadow. I think there may just be a little bit of blood, Eubank's left eye.
Yeah, that's not very serious. Well, I'm sure the corner can cope with that. But he won't like that. There's hardly been any head work, Jim. It must have come from the punch, surely.
No, Close has been pretty accurate with the right hand, especially the right hand lead. Eubank again, when the time comes to sustain an attack, he doesn't do it. He has the strength and he has the power, but he just doesn't seem to want to use it properly. He's showing a bit more urgency about his work now.
I think he likes living on the cliff edge, Eubank, but he might pay for it. So over to Gary Newbon with Barry Hunt.
Well, Barry, we always think that Eubank can pull something out. Harry Gibbs has got him 1 round in front at the moment, but I mean, you know, is Eubank for once going to run out of time?
Well, you never know, do you, Gary? I mean, it's what makes this a fascinating business. Eubank so often has come on strong at the end, but let's be honest, this is a dead level fight going into the 9th round. If anything, Close has just inflicted a small cut of Eubank's left eye, and, you know, Close is in the ascendancy. Eubank's going to have to step up the pace here, or we could see his title and all the dreams, all the big money match in the future going out the window.
Okay, Close, they say, can't take a punch, but he's doing all right so far very quickly.
He's taken some great shots and handed out some great shots as well. It's even money from now on.
Second out, round 9.
Out for the 9th round. Actually just glancing over Harry Gibbs unofficially. He's making it level, actually, after the end of 8. So now, is it all about these 3 rounds, Jim?
Of course it is, yeah. Well, I've got Close slightly better off. I have 1 round in front, but I mean, the fight is as close as that. But the thing is, as I said at the beginning of the previous round, this is where Eubank must start his charge, and this is where we find does Close have a gear to move up to, or is this the best that we're going to see from him? Eubank, I feel, can do better, so Close is either going to have to do a little bit better, or he's going to go under. He's even after the closest part of the fight, if you like, and this is where strength and power they come into play, and we certainly know Eubank has that.
3.5 rounds to go. The crowd rising to that, certainly from the back of the SEC here in Glasgow. They're wondering now if Eubank is going to have one of those spectacular finishes that he's proven so often before. But as I said, he's been distant in his last 4 fights. Maybe those wars with Nigel Band and 2 with Michael Watson are just draining him a bit, Jim. And maybe the weight making.
Yeah, well, it's always difficult. I mean, for a man to condition himself so often, even if the opposition hasn't been what we'd like to have seen, just the sheer physical work in the gymnasium and the mental strain all the way, it has to take its toll. So you have to expect maybe a little bit of staleness. And this, I mean, it's not a tremendous performance from Eubank at all. His punches haven't looked as dangerous, apart from a couple of times. But once again, he's moved up the gear when the time has come to do it.
12th consecutive WBO championship, this is Jim. But you say that's quite a strain to get prepared for those. So much of the cynics who might have thought this was a walkover for Eubank, Jim. It's far from that.
Well, I always thought Close would give him problems, but I didn't think he would have such even points-wise at this stage in the fight. But this is where he needs a bit more strength, and this is where he has to gain respect once again from Eubank. If he can't do that, then Eubank may start to roll over him.
Close has assimilated any punches there, not much more than a sort of slight smile even. On the other hand, I don't think, apart from the uppercuts, I don't think Eubank's really tagging properly, Jim, as he has done in previous fights.
But I'm looking at the difference in Close's punches now. They're just that little bit out of range now. He's just letting the punch go that little bit too early, as though he's worried about what's coming back. There's still plenty of courage in what he's doing, but he's just paying a bit too much respect now.
Well now, I wonder what's happening over in that corner there. They must be saying, well, at least you put some work together in that round as they prepare for the 10th. Let's have a look at the scorecard. There it is. Now he's pushed him in front. It was, as I said, level. At one point there now, he's got Eubank 1 up on that round. There's nothing in it with me, Jim. I wouldn't want to argue at the moment.
Yeah, I would have a bit to learn, but I suppose the ominous thing is the fact that Harry Gibbs has given Eubank the 8th and the 9th. 2 rounds in the trot, his best spell, and we've now reached the stage where the strength and the power is what's needed. The talent goes out the window after 6 or 7 rounds. Then it's the grit, the dedication, the will to win, and just the strength to get you through.
Round 10.
Well, it looks as though, perhaps the stronger punch of Eubank now is catching judges' eyes as well as right closest for the 10th round.
See, I agree with that because that's Close's problem. He has to find a bit of strength. He has to step in again with the punches as he was earlier. But not easy against this fellow. He's so strong. But Close needs a good round raise. Needs it badly.
Yeah, he sort of imposes his will on the other fellow, Eubank, doesn't he? He has this unusual touch. Referee Paul Thomas has been able to keep well away from this. There's been no infringements at all.
I think Close has to put the punches out now with 2s and 3s. A single jab, Eubank's just slipping, or even he's taking it and coming back with better. He has to put punches together. A single shot is to get him in trouble.
Minute gone in the 10th. 3-minute rounds, of course. So what a kind of bustle away there, the Irish lad, and quite a reasonable amount of success, but definitely the stronger punches are coming in. And sometimes quality of punch as well as quantity does count with the judges. They're on close inside there when he lands a punch at the crowd.
Well, see if Eubank can sustain now, he come back with good punches. He knows he's got to produce some decent work now. He's trying to do it.
Someone hanging on there rather unashamedly. Eubank, not a tiredness so much, just trying to prevent Close from working with these punches. So a little bit of pop shotting now, Jim. Look at this. I should have done this a little early on, Eubank.
Well, Close still fancying the job. He's been through a little rough time when he's coming back, so he's proven his character here. I feel that he needs to put punches together. Too many single leads. This is better.
So that little gesture there by Eubank, when he said it all, didn't it? That'll do me. Still too close for argument for my sake, Jim. I tend to agree probably with Harry Gibbs now. They just nicked in front of Eubank, but can't read the judge's minds here. Over there, Jim. Let's have a look at that on the top camera.
See, Eubank there, he's beginning to look like the boss. That's the difference. Even though he's not taking charge totally, he's not doing any more work than Close. Close come back with a lot of good work in that round. Now that was a nice little attack he put together. But Eubank beginning to look the boss now. And in a close round, that can catch the judge's eye, make them sway towards him. But again, Close coming back with good stuff. He's still keeping that chin down there.
11th round. And our unofficial Harry Gibbs scorecard has Eubank's 2 rounds in front. To emphasise, unofficial. His colleagues, Dave Paris, Warwick Francis and the Dane Torben Hansen have got to come up with the scores on the assumption that this goes 12. We've got that busy look about him, Ray Close, isn't he? As though he's finding himself a little bit there, actually, with his arms rather than landing punches.
Well, he certainly produced a career best performance here, and keeping himself ahead in points for so long and still driving himself forward. But Eubank now beginning to look like the champion and Close like the challenger. Close still looking for that big round just to get him down at the home straight. He's lovely right hand point. That was the one. That was the danger all the way through.
Yeah, I think it's been waiting for that. A little bit desperate too. 8, 9. Having a good look at him, Paul Thomas. He's saying, "Okay, I've got my hands up. If it's all over now."
Don't think he's recovered, Reg. No, his legs have gone.
Yeah, no, he knows when he's got him on the hook. Eubank doesn't let them off.
Close just wants to grab hold and hang on for dear life, get as many seconds by as possible. But that punch took an awful lot out of him. He's feeling the pace and that just drained him.
Yeah, there he goes again now. He's got so much time in this round. We're only midway through it. I don't blame Close at all, though. That's a professional's natural instinct to hang on when you're in trouble like that.
So he just doesn't have the strength to keep Eubank away now. But can Eubank sustain it? He's just looking for that one big shot now.
Prodded that left hand out defiantly there, very close.
Just missed his whisker with a right hand again.
Oh yes, just as well that didn't get through. That would have had him over. Second is right up on the corner there, Bernardo Checo, right up standing on the apron and push him off.
What a show of courage here.
Oh, this is it. This is the old Irish fighting spirit coming out here.
So that was always a danger in the early rounds, that right uppercut. Close always chin nice and low, but that was always the punch that was only putting him in trouble.
Well, I'm not so sure the judges will give this as a two-pointer. I know the organisations do like to give knockdown in a two-point round. He's come back so well here, right close. He might have to stick with a one-round win for Eubank.
What a show of courage from Ray Close.
Brilliant. He was almost flew into that ring there as though he was on an ejector seat there, this trainer Bernardo Checo. I'm not sure if it'll be rubbing him so hard as that. Wouldn't have thought that would bring them round, Jim, would it?
Well, he's got himself back together again. Thankfully, he managed to recover. He obviously doesn't deserve to be knocked out in this contest, and he really did well coming back from that. I mean, I think Eubank again throwing wild punches when he needed a little bit more control. That was a lovely punch. He just took the legs completely away from him, and you see, even when he got up, I thought the referee could have stopped it. The referee's been proved right because the courage and the stamina of Close got him through. But that was a tremendous punch.
Yeah,
look at that.
Uppercut. He's been threatening all fighters, and it's inevitable, I think, that he would have nailed him with one before the end. Now, with 3 minutes to go now, can Ray Close hang on? He's certainly come out earlier in the last round, Ray Close. He won't take the confidence out of Eubank, because he'll go for him in this round. He's got the strength.
Eubank's got him with the first right hand of the round. Well, if ever Ray Close needed the big right hand, Reg, it's here and now.
He loves these cliffhangers, Eubank. I mean, he's a real old hand at heart. Well, obviously, he does do this purposely. He'd love to have won clearly, certainly in the 11th round. Eubank's banging on the canvas there. Come on, throw punches. A bit scared it might possibly go the other way. Jim and I doubt it. I think Harry Gibbs has still got Eubank in front, okay.
In the last third of the fight, Eubank started looking the boss. He started looking at the champion. And that knockdown is going to put a little clincher on it for him. But with tremendous courage from Ray Close.
Punching himself out a bit here, Eubank, Jim.
See, this is it again, when he sets a pace for a few seconds, but see, the natural power is still there.
Oh, look at him right above us there. You can see him. Really deep breath there, Eubank. Tiredness set in there, didn't it? He's still mobile, though. It's amazing after absorbing that uppercut, pulling himself off the floor. It's a great performance by him.
He's never had the power to trouble Eubank, and he badly needs it now. He's certainly got his respect with those couple.
Oh yes, I tell you what, he'll go out carrying his shield very close.
He's actually finished it fresher than Eubank.
Wonderful. Incredible that, what a game show. He's dead tired, Eubank, and there's Saturday night, Jim, as he always does, but he's dead tired. There comes the countdown then. And the bell, of course, would interrupt the count. The close going down when it gets to this. 10 seconds. It's got to go to scorecards. What a good round. Finishes WBO Super Middleweight Championship of the World. And the crowd loving this very close now. And full marks to Eubank. He said, well done, mate. I didn't expect it to be as tough as that. The Irish lifting their man, they're hoping he's going to get the decision. What a great last round, Jim.
Tremendous. I mean, what a show of courage to go over that knockdown in the first, was then to come back and produce the better work in the last round. Tremendous from Ray Close, just after a little bit too little, too late. I think Eubank in the last third of the fight, they really imposed themselves.
Yeah.
And, so probably just nicked it. One round, possibly two.
Yeah, possibly 2 rounds. That's how, there it is. That's how Harry Gibbs has got it. Now the finish while we wait for the officials. Ed Levine of Miami as supervisor. Well, a few people might have written off Ray Close before this fight. You know, is it another easy one for Eubank? Well, this proves that it wasn't. And again, he's got a lot to do when if he's won this, assuming he has. Michael Nunn and, of course, before that we hope Nigel Benn, who unfortunately has injured a hand and has to postpone his contest with Lujan.
I'm just thinking, Reg, what about the Close's European title?
No, no, there wasn't under European rules, was it? They would have to appoint
I just
officials.
had that thought there, yeah. So thankfully it's still safe if he loses here as we think he's going to.
No, he's still got his European Championship. I like this conversation going on there. Wouldn't mind he's dropping on that. I've got a feeling there that both supervisors from the WBO are talking to Eubank that almost gave the impression that they knew he had won. Let's have a look at the fine few seconds of the fight. Let's have a look at that again.
Well, a great show from Close all the way through. What a tremendous finish. Just ducked and dived. This is just the last couple of seconds of the fight. Started showboating a little bit. What a tremendous last round when you think almost gone in the 11th round. But it's lovely to see Chris Eubank in such a good competitive match.
A few sweaty palms around in the Eubank have. He looks pretty confident. So, well, he always does, doesn't he? There you are. I've done okay. There it is now.
We have the judges' scorecards. We have a split decision,
It's a split decision. A few boos.
Judge Dave Parry scores the contest 116 to 113 in favour of Close.
It's come for the Irishman with Harry
Ladies and
score.
gentlemen, Judge Torben Hansen scores the contest 116 112 to Eubank.
Well, that's a much bigger one for Eubank by the Danish judge.
Ladies and gentlemen,
2-pointer probably.
Judge Roy Ramsey scores the contest 115 points to Eubank, 115 points to Close. The winner, and still the WBO Super Middleweight.
Gave it even the last one, Roy Francis. Sorry. that'll work. Shouldn't that be a draw?
He's hung onto the title with a draw then, if they heard that last score properly. I think it's the wrong score. I think it's... Yeah,
it's a draw. They must have done. They made a mistake there, Jim. Surely. It's got to be a draw. That's it. This is a draw. We were right. I mean, the champion retains the title. But, well, at least Ray Close flatly gets his share of that one anyway, Jim. He doesn't get the championship, but he gets his share of the applause.
Yeah, certainly well deserved, but I think this time, I think Eubank's been unfortunate a couple of times, but this time I think a little bit unfortunate. I thought he'd just nicked this one.
Full of controversy, this fella, isn't he? What will we do without him? So I've got a few people who say, I know what I'd like to do with him at times as well. But I tell you what, he's not a bad fella out the ring at all. And I'm sure you'll hear it from the champ's mouth at any minute now, and he won't have to go back to debate. And the doctor, Alistair Howie, the Border Control, just checking that the eye's okay and that he's okay. Well, we'll soon be ready to go over. I think Gary Newman, as usual, will nab Eubank, and if he can get a word in.
Chris, it's nice to see you in a competitive fight. It seems such a long time.
Well, I mean, listen, I wanted an early night, but I thought with this fella I could take him out when I said in 5. But he was, his work rate was brilliant and it was consistent. I thought I could play with him because my moves were sharper, my punches were harder. But what a value for money fight. He came to fight. I thought my skills would be enough to just take him out when I wanted, and it wasn't.
And he's a much younger fighter than you used to fighting. Now, one of these days, Chris, you are going to leave it too late. I mean, a draw, that's really cutting it fine.
It wasn't a draw.
It was a draw. Yeah, well, one judge each and one even. That's a draw.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, you've only just held on to it, mate.
I thought I'd done enough work with the body shots, with the clean shots, and with the knockdown. Come on, I mean, I don't know what they were looking at there.
Well, the two English judges are there, and they're the best.
Well, you know, that's a matter of an opinion. Okay, let me just say, I've got to reiterate the message to John Major, please allocate more funds to the inner cities for the urban youth. Yeah. And Karen, I love you, but I don't think I've got any more time. But I'm still here.
You're right.
I'm still on top, 36 fights, 36 wins. It doesn't matter how you get the job done, so long as you do. It's still value for the money. They're going to still be watching. Maybe they want to see me come unstuck, or they want to see me prolong this unbeaten record and get the Ben fight on, which I want. I don't think he's going to comply to the demand of money, which has to come down. But there you go. Thank you very kindly, fans, and I'll be back.
Hey, Chris, thank you for a good fight. Nice to see you in a competitive one.
It's good to see you being more positive towards me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, he was positive enough. He told him the result of the fight, didn't he? And I must admit, I had Eubank winning that by a couple of rounds.